What's up guys, Agile back here again, and today we are actually in No Man's Sky and we are going to be going over some beginner tips here. So obviously with some of the updates coming out here, Worlds Part 2 is coming out here, should be shortly, and I figured, hey, there should be some new people joining in, might need a little bit of help with a couple tips. So I put together just a small list today of some useful things I think for people just starting out. So let's get started here right away. So basically, first things first, when you first jump into the game here, obviously you're going to be pretty new, and you're going to want to, I guess, go as fast as possible. I'm gonna caution you against that for my first tip here, and really just enjoy the game itself. It can be very overwhelming when you first start out in No Man's Sky. There is a main quest line. I would advise following that until you get to at least the Nexus. You'll know what that is here in a second. I can show you guys. But basically, you're going to want to follow your main quest lines throughout the game here, and until, you know, basically you get to the Nexus, would be my opinion. But there's really no right or wrong answer for this. And basically, you can go out, you can start out right away, fix up your first ship, fly it out into space, and you can go wherever and do whatever you want. If you want to build a first base, if you want to go out and fight some pirates, you can do that, although I probably wouldn't advise that right away. And yeah, you could just kind of explore the galaxy as you want. One other thing that I'll throw in there just for that, don't feel bad about starting bases and leaving them. Like this one here, you can see right here, I just made a little structure, nothing impressive by any means. It's got a basic portal, it's got basic power, it's got a basic battery, and a landing pad. And I've actually found that in No Man's Sky, it's actually probably harder to find a location that you're going to want to stay, because there's so many cool locations. So like, you'll start a base like this, like, yep, this is a spot I know 100%, and then you'll travel on, and like the next system you come to, like, oh, this place is way cooler, I gotta move here. So don't feel bad about it. You can have a ton of base computers down, you can claim a ton of spots, and you can just keep rebuilding or making things better and better, or you can force yourself to stay in one location. It's up to you. Okay guys, next tip I have for you here is going to be dealing with space stations. So it's a pretty quick tip. Basically just fly in here. You guys can hear my dog in the background. He wants to play. Fly into your space station here, land, and then as you're getting out here, a tip I have for you, you're gonna want to jump out. Even if you come to a new system, it'll restore your point as soon as you get in and out of your ship. That's good in case something happens to your game, or you need to reload or something like that. But yeah, even if you're just hopping from system to system, in the galaxy map here, which I can't access because I'm in here, but basically when you're in the galaxy map, if you're hopping from system to system, go to the space stations, because you'll be able to jump out, save your point right there, and once you jump out, just by jumping out, you'll gain access to the actual portal to that system here. So like, say that you came in here and then you had just hopped to a new system, you can actually find some other teleporters around. So yeah, just a quick and easy way to get from place to place, and you can also access all that stuff from the Nexus once you reach that as well. All right, next one I got for you, pretty simple one, but to switch your camera view here, on controller, you're going to press down on the D-pad. If you're on the keyboard, you're going to press X. But basically press down on the D-pad or X, then you're going to come over here to utilities and go up on the D-pad and then toggle camera view. That'll switch between third and first person view, and it also works the same way if you're in your ship. So if I go to utilities here, come up here, switch starship view, there you can see that I'm now in third person as well. So it works both ways. And for my ship, I like it to be in first person, just because when I'm in dogfights, I feel like I have better control that way. And when I'm in on foot, I like to be in third person, so I like to see my character. All right, next thing has to do with your deployable items. So on your D-pad, you're gonna press up again to get to your deployable technology. One of the first things that you're going to be doing here, making base computer, and your portable refiner is going to be one of the next things you do in your actual quest line. And so we'll just go ahead and grab one of those, and obviously gives you the controls on the top up there as I just point to my screen. And it is R2 for me to build because I'm using a PS5 controller. But essentially you can access this and you can, fuel it, put stuff in, it'll refine it and give you an output. Pretty simple. But I've seen a ton of people, a ton of my friends as well, who keep making these over and over again because they miss this little info right here on the right side. So on controller, you can hold in your right stick and you can pick it right back up again, just like that. And then when you come back in here, you should have it still in your inventory, so you can place it right back down again. So you do not need to make, oh, hi Sentinel, you do not need to make your deployable stuff over and over again, which is super nice. Some things you'll have to, obviously, but things like your portable refiner and some of the other items in here you don't have to, but and like your base computer and that kind of stuff you will, obviously, because you can't take that with you when you're actually claiming places to build. And it got dark very quickly. Next thing I got for you here, pretty simple one, but obviously you're going to want as many nanites as you can get in the beginning of the game, so you can afford cool things like freighters and ships, new tech, upgrading your exosuit, all that stuff, and upgrade modules for your ship, all that stuff. So one thing you can do, once you discover a planet, you can actually come into your menu here, go over to discoveries, and you can upload your discoveries to receive some nanite clusters. Also from this area, if you discovered it yourself, you can name the actual system and you can name the actual planets. I didn't discover this one myself, so I can't name it, but I do have other ones as well that I have named before, so you can name it whatever you want if you discover it. Kind of cool. Gives you the sense that you are actually the one who is finding it and naming it, as if you were an explorer in space. Pretty sweet. An easy way to get some extra nanites for sure. Alright, next thing for some nanites you can do, pretty simple one, but on controller it's going to be left trigger here, and you're going to want to bring up your analysis visor, which I believe it's F. I believe it's F on keyboard, but left trigger is mine on controller. And what you can actually do then, as you come around to different planets, you can pretty much scan everything. So you go ahead and hold right trigger to scan it, and it'll actually give you nanites right there. So you see 14,014 for nanites. And then like if I scan this, it'll actually give me more nanites here. So 562, so not quite as much. Scan the planets. Basically everything is going to be scannable on the planet, and they should all give you a varying amount of resources, or nanites I guess you could say, but resources would be nanites. So pretty quick and easy way to get nanites in the early game. Just scan everything on every planet that you come to as much as you can, and you can actually upgrade your analysis visor to give you more nanites, as you level it up, depending on what you're scanning and whatnot. So and also I should mention, as you level up your analysis visor, on the bottom there you'll see that there is different modes. So obviously we can switch modes here. These will give you hotspots. So like here there's some kind of mineral that is in this direction here, and it'll beep the closer you get. Obviously the distance will go down there, and it tells you on the left there it is a deep level mineral deposit, and its potential is a C, so definitely you want a higher potential than that. But if you want an easy early farm, you can eventually get into the automated farms. I have some of those, and they will net you millions every day or so. So there's different kinds. You can also get resources this way, like gases and whatnot for crafting. But that's a whole nother thing there that we can get into another time if you guys want. But yeah, so your analysis visor, super helpful, and right away you'll be able to scan stuff and get nanites. All right, next thing I have for you guys, which I do believe originally was a bug, but so many people liked it because the developers are awesome. They actually left it in the game. So it's going to be a quicker way to get around when you're first trying to fix up your ship and whatnot. It'll do a little bit more to your life support, drain it a little bit faster, but you can always recharge that pretty easily. So what you're gonna do, keyboard will be melee, so it'll be Q for your melee, and then you're going to hit spacebar for your jump, which will launch you forward. On controller, it's going to be or sorry, you're going to be sprinting first, don't forget that, and then you'll hit your melee, which will be right bumper on controller, and then your jump, which will be X. So you can actually shoot yourself forward here. Be careful on the landing. If you're really high up there, it will hurt you, but you can actually launch yourself forward compared to the normal just going up with a jetpack. So sprint, and then melee and jump, and you can actually launch yourself forward some, so you can cover much bigger distances with that quicker. But again, it is a little more taxing on your overall support systems there. So just a little quick tip for you, and a cool thing that the devs decided to leave in there. All right, next thing I got for you guys here, if you go into your utilities again, come over here to, or I guess it'd be your quick menu because utilities would be right here, but down on the D-pad for controller and X for keyboard, come over here to summon vehicles, and you can actually summon in your ship just like this. So if you're a billion miles away from your ship, it will cost resources to bring it in, but it saves you a ton of time in the long run. Like right away when I first started playing this game, I didn't know you could do that, and I would be like, you know, several hundred kilometers away, like a long ways away, and I'd run all the way back to my ship. I didn't know that you could summon it. So it's just a super quick little easy thing you can do there. It also works for Exocraft and your freighter and other ships as well when you unlock that stuff. Alright guys, next thing I got for you here is inside the actual space stations. Find these guys right here. They'll have this symbol above them, like a waypoint, and this little spinning globe looking deal here. These guys are called cartographers. Once you get a little bit of nanites built up and some extra coin, what you can actually do is come in here to these guys, and of course you can ask them for help and exchange specific charts and all that, but you can also purchase random maps, and by doing that, it'll give you a planetary chart, and then you can actually you can actually go down to the surface then. I don't know why I came in here either, but you can actually go down to the surface then, and you can actually map out your planetary chart, and some of those locations that you get will actually show you where a crashed ship is, which you can also find just by exploring too. I should mention that. But it'll be just like the ship that you start out with. You can get the base materials, you might already have them, fix them up, and then you can actually bring them in and scrap them if you don't want them. So a quick way to make an easy buck. Alright, so in the space station here, let's say that, like, hey, I really like this kind of Boba Fett looking ship here, and you know, I might want to fly that one around for a while. So there's two ways to do it. Basically, you can come up to the owner of the ship here, you can talk to him, you can offer to trade your ship in, or sorry, offer to trade for resources, recruit him to your squadron to help you fight, or you can make an offer on his starship. So here you pull up this screen, you can negotiate a price, you can trade in your ship, you can see all the stats here and the class of the ship. Obviously, the higher the class, the better. We want S tier at this point, and you can see its cargo and what it's all got for technology modules installed. But an easier way, instead of going through that whole menu, is actually just come right over here by your ship. Let's say you just hopped out of your ship and pull out your analysis visor, and right over there on the left you can see it as a C class. Shows you its storage, damage potential, shield strength, hyperdrive range, and maneuverability, and of course the name of it as well there too. But see, super easy way to see it. It works on all ships. There's another ship. Here we go. It works on all ships, so we can see all the different ship stats, and you can actually look at the different ships much quicker and see, you know, like, hey, this might be a ship that I want right now. You know, how much is it going to cost me? Looks like this ship is 5,200,000 units. I just dropped 20 million on a ship right before this video. Yeah, you can actually pick up some extra ships, and now that they're expanding the storage for your freighter, you can actually store more ships on there. I believe it's up to 30 now, which is sweet. So quick and easy way to find some cool new ships and upgrade your fleet overall. Alright guys, I'll have a couple things to show you here aboard the Nexus. So once you unlock that, it's going to be down on the D-pad again for controller, then over to summon the space anomaly here, and fly in here. I'll give you guys a look at that, and then we'll go over just a couple things in here quick. So if you guys didn't know, the space anomaly here is going to actually be kind of the hub. So you'll load in here, you'll get to see a bunch of different players in here. You can group up with players, you can pick up quests in here, you can do missions in here, you can upgrade a bunch of different stuff in here for nanites. So this is basically what the space anomaly looks like, and once you're actually able to summon it in, it's a really sweet place, and you'll be able to do a ton of stuff in here, get cosmetics, and start expeditions, which is what I was going to show you right here. So actually, if you come over here, there is a new expedition coming out here soon. So if you walk right up here to the expedition terminus, you can come in here, and obviously right now we're on expedition 16, the curse. So it'll show you how many days are remaining. But then you can select your equipment if you're on your main save, and then you can launch right into the expedition. I believe the next one is called the Titan, so be on the lookout for that if you guys want to jump in there and start getting some of those exclusive rewards. Alright guys, next thing I got for you here is a pretty simple thing, but much like the developers for this game, Hello Games, are probably one of the best dev companies on the market right now in terms of, you know, their overall ingenuity, loyalty to this game. I mean, this game, if you didn't know, had a rocky start way back when it launched, and they've stuck with it over the years, and now it is a fantastic game. The community is also an awesome community. It's definitely one of the best in gaming right now, I would say, by far. I don't know if I've met any people with terrible attitudes in here. So one thing you can do as a new player, obviously it looks like we've got some new players in this lobby here, or fairly new, at least using some earlier ships. If you come into the space anomaly like this, and there's people sitting on the ground like this, of course you can invite them to your group. But the community is so awesome in this game that they might just start giving you stuff if you look new. So there's been lots of times where I've come into these lobbies and there's literally just like one guy that's just like, you know, he's maybe got 500, 1,000, 2,000 hours into the game, and he's got, you know, more materials than he knows what to do with. And he just comes in here, he'll sit on the ground like this or stand here, and, you know, he'll wait for new players, and when they come up, he just might start trading with you and giving you a bunch of random items. So it's really cool, and it's an awesome community. And if you come over here to the missions in the Nexus here, you can actually pick up missions, and it's easy to find people that'll just jump into a mission with you and help you out and won't actually troll you in this game. So it's super nice, and it's just something I really appreciate about this game, and it'd be sweet if more communities were like that in the actual gaming world. Alright guys, next thing I have for you here, I can't actually show you again, which is kind of sucky, but basically you're going to reach a point in the storyline where you're going to have to defend a NPC freighter. I can actually call in my freighter here just to give you guys a heads up. So my freighter comes in here, and of course the rest of my fleet does too. But anyway, so basically once you defended that freighter from a pirate fleet, you'll be able to get a communication which will come up in your Starship communicator, and then you'll be able to go aboard that freighter and they will offer it to you for free. One thing I would advise doing is making sure that you get the freighter that's an S class. So basically, like the first one I rescued, I think was like a C class. You can actually decline that, and then you can, you know, continue on, and you'll get another freighter offered to you later on, you know, as you're pulsing around basically in your ship. And, you know, basically you keep doing that until you find one that you're happy with, you know, either like an A class or an S class would be my recommendation, just because it's going to be a little bit better, but it's also for free and you don't have to purchase it. I mean, later you'll be in the hundreds of millions of credits more than likely, and it won't really matter. You can just purchase one if you really want the one that is a C class or something like that, or if you've already gone through that mission and you want an S class, don't worry, you can still buy one later on in the game as well. Alright guys, that's gonna be it for this video here. I hope that you guys actually found some of these tips useful. If you have a little bit more experience in the game, or maybe you read something, make sure you leave a comment down below with some information for other new players to pick up on. Even if you think that it's maybe not that useful, a little bit helps all the time for sure. And obviously the community is super fantastic in this game, and I want to keep that going on this channel as well, of course. So make sure that you guys are super friendly in your comments down below, and help other players out. And of course, we're going to continue to cover No Man's Sky here. Make sure you leave me a like, and make sure, like I said, comment and then subscribe too. Lets me know you guys want to keep seeing more gameplay from No Man's Sky. If you want to see more tips, let me know down below as well. And of course, we're going to try to cover Light No Fire as much as we can when that game comes out too, because I am so excited for that game. I cannot wait. Made by the same development company, Hello Games, and make sure you check out the trailer for that as well, because it's going to be super fantastic. Basically No Man's Sky, but set in a fantasy sort of medieval RPG style setting. So it's going to be fantastic. But anyways guys, thanks for watching. We'll catch you in the next one.